In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you step by step on how I was able to cut and sew this beautiful pencil dress with front slit that you're currently seeing on your screen. I made this dress for this person and she used it as a pre-wedding shoot. Now there's a part 1 to this dress because this particular tutorial that you're watching is a sewing tutorial. I already uploaded the cutting tutorial of this dress already. If you've not seen it, you should check it out so that you understand better where we are coming from. The link to the part 1 is currently showing up, and in case you miss it up, the link will also be down in the description box. My name is Oluwatosin. In case this is the first time you are seeing my channel, and you're welcome. To all my returning subscribers, you're also welcome. In case this is your first time here, please consider subscribing, and don't just subscribe, turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified next time I upload a new tutorial on this channel. So obviously I used crepe fabric for this dress, and then I used silk for the rows on the bust side of this dress. Now moving straight to the sewing, the first thing I did was to join the front, the slits. I joined from the waistline to where the slit starts with 1 inch, and after joining I'm going to be folding the slit to each side with hemming gum. For the back bodice, I proceeded to cutting out the neckline because I didn't cut the neckline when I was cutting it. So at this point that I cut this V neckline, and after cutting out the neckline, I joined the dart together. The front, I'm going to be joining this bustier together as well. I joined for the actual fabric, and then I joined the lining because it was still this crepe that I used to line the front and the back. So after joining, I proceeded to weaving. But before weaving, you must have pressed the joining, like you open the joining on top of that ironing board, and then you press it very, very well for the front, for the fabric, and then for the lining. Everywhere that the cup is, you press it very well so that it can come out well. Although I already said it when I was cutting in the cutting tutorial that the strap, which is the sleeve, is going to be 5 inches long. After joining, I still made sure that I checked very well to be sure that I'm on track. So the sleeve is 5 inches long, and then the width is going to be 2 inches. But I have to cut front and back together, which is now 10, and I'll be needing allowance to join it to the half cut. So I'll be cutting 12 because I'll be using 1 inch to join it, one to join at the front and one to join at the back. And then the width is supposed to be 2, but because I have to turn it and the allowance for turning, I made it 4.5 inches. So I cut two straps that each of them measures 12 inches long and 4.5 inches wide. Now for the pencil part of the dress, the front part of it, I proceeded to using hemming gum to fold the slit to different sides. I folded it with hemming gum so that it would be very, very neat. Then I turned this strap. You can see I've turned the strap here, and I stitched it on the front bodice and on the back bodice. At this point, I've not turned the neckline or the armhole of the bodice. First, I want to join the strap to it so that I can turn it together. So I located where the strap is supposed to be, and then I stitched it down on both sides. For only fronts first. After stitching for the front, I still didn't turn the neckline and the armhole yet. I now proceeded to stitching it on the back. So for the back, considering that the armhole and the neckline are almost looking the same, please be careful not to mix it up. Make sure that armhole is facing armhole and then the neckline is facing center back so that it doesn't give you the stress of losing it and sewing it again. So I stitched the strap, which is the sleeve in this case, to the shoulder with that 1 inch that I added for front and 1 inch that I added for the back. So after stitching the strap to the bodice like this, it's now time to turn. So I'm going to be turning front neckline, armhole, the side. Then for the back, I'm not going to turn the back yet because I will be fixing my zip first before turning the neckline so that I can turn the tip of the zip together. So I proceeded to turning the front, the neckline, the armhole, and the sides. I gave that if I turned the neckline with hemming gum so that the lining can gum down to the fabric, and I flipped it to the right side after turning. I gave it a very good press, and this is where we are at this point. So what is next is to join the lower part of this dress to it. To do this, I'm going to be folding the bodies into two like this, notch the middle, then at the same time I'll bring the lower part of the dress, which is the pencil part, fold it into two and notch the middle. If you've done this correctly, you would see that because the way I calculated it, the slit, the joining of the slit is supposed to be directly facing the nipple to nipple on the right, because for this dress the slit is on the right. Like I said earlier, if you need to understand where we are coming from for this dress, please watch the part one of this tutorial. The link to it is down in the description box. So after joining the front bodies to the lower part of the dress, which is the pencil part, I joined for the back as well. Joined the back bodies to the pencil part of the dress, and when you are done doing this, it's now time to fix zip. Please make sure that your join, like the half length join, they are aligning before you fix the zip, like they are directly facing each other so that your zip will come out neat. So what I did was to place my zip on my dress and I marked the length, my desired length. It depends on how long you want the zip to be on your dress. So I marked mine, and then from where the zip stops to the whole length of the dress, I stitched it down with 1 inch. When I was done doing this, I fixed my zip. I love to fix my zip with measurement because aside that you are going to take out that zip bulge. If you still like, you take out the zip bulge when you were cutting, but if you fix your zip with measurement, it still helps to slant your zip very well so that it doesn't bulge on the back of whoever is wearing it. So what I do is I open up my back panels like this. Right side is up now. Then I measure the sewing allowance first, whatever sewing allowance I'm using. In this case, I'm using 1.5. So for the bust, I measured 1.5 on the shaping side. Then from there, I divided the bust by 4. I marked that. On the waistline, I measured 1.5. Then from there, I divided our waist by 4. I marked that. I did the same thing for the first hip, which is the skirt waist. Then I did the same thing for the actual hip so that it can just follow the person's measurement and just follow the person's curve, however the person's back is. If you fix your zip with measurement, it will just follow the person's shape. Even if the person doesn't really have big bum bum, it will just take the shape of the person's body. So I proceeded to fixing my zip on one side. After fixing on one side, flip it to the other side. You don't have to measure again. Just make sure that their measurements, like they are aligning. The measurements are on the same line. Measurements on the shaping side are on the same line. You will see that the allowance that will be remaining on the zip side will be equal to the one you've used to fix the zip on one side. I don't know if my explanation is clear. So after fixing zip, I proceeded to turning my neckline with the back facing. I turned it together with the tip of the zip. I turned the armhole as well, and it's now time to shape my dress. You can see how tiny this zip was fixed, like how tiny and neat that this zip was fixed. I used invisible zip for this dress. So what is next is to shape my dress. So to shape my dress, I'll be facing the right side of the front panel to the right side of the back panel. Please, if at this point you are still with me and you've not subscribed, consider subscribing, and don't just subscribe. Turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified the next time I upload a new sewing tutorial on this channel. Now to shape this dress, I love starting my shaping from the back because the zip just helps me to know the middle of my dress. So from the zip side, I'll be dividing the bust by 4. I'll mark that. The waist divided by 4. I'll mark that. Then the first hip divided by 4, I'll mark that, and the hip divided by 4, I'll mark that. Then I'm going to stitch it. You measure the armhole as well. In fact, if you've cut your dress very well and you've shaped your, like you've curved your armhole well, you'll see that by the time you measure this armhole and the bust, the armhole that you measure inside the armhole will just four, like it will just be the person's armhole. If you've cuffed your armhole well, you will see that where your shaping will start from will just be the person's exact armhole. So when you are done shaping one side, flip your dress to the other side, and from the first shaping, you start dividing your measurement by two, no longer by four like you did earlier. So from the first shaping, divide the bust by two, waist by two, hip divided by two, and the hip divided by two. And for the pencil part, which is the lower part of the dress, the down of the dress, what I did was to deduct 6 inches from our hip. Our hip is 46. I deducted 6 inches, which is 40. Is that 40 that I divided by 4 and by 2? Like by 4 when I was shaping the other side, and by 2 now that I'm shaping this side that I'm dividing my measurement by 2. So basically that is it for the sewing of this dress. For the down, I used hemming gum to fold it down. As you can see, I neatly folded it with hemming gum. The down, look at it, the down of this dress. And in my next tutorial, I'll be dropping a detailed tutorial on how I was able to make this rose that is on the bust of this dress. And do not forget that the link to the sewing tutorial, which is the part 1 of this tutorial, is down in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has been, don't forget to give it a thumbs up as much as possible. Let me share amidst your friends. If you are interested in watching the part 1 of this video, click on the box on the right, and to watch the tutorial on how I was able to make this rose size on the chest, click on the box on your left. And I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye.